because I got started in as being the son of an advertising artist. So what was it for me to study but more art? I had 2 years of gone to Korea. Then I went into Cranbrook. And then I worked on my own at the Jewish Center, Detroit Institute of Arts, Public Schools Division, and somebody's backyard or somebody's basement or somebody's living room, wherever. And finally they needed someone to step into the role of a sculpture master at the school.
I grew up with an Italian family. We were recently arrived from Italy, so the culture was quite difficult to adjust to. So meeting Jay was very interesting. Of course, my family didn't know very much about art. They felt that all of a sudden I should become a laborer like they were, in a sense. So it was very interesting for me to take a certain direction away from what I think other Italians were doing. The things during the 60s that appealed to me were Italians who actually created artworks that were very, very important. The post-Second World War, they created imagery that was really with a great social consciousness about who we were and what we're capable of destroying. And the people that I admired were Italians. Giacomo Manzu with his Doors of Death, they were a big influence on my life. So the Italian, but the post-Italian, even though I lived there, and my father actually was really basically destroyed by the war. He came home when I was 4 years old. There are things in the subconscious that remain with you, and I think the imagery that I have that you can see here have a certain kind of apocalyptic aspect of some of the Italians that I admire. I went to Wayne State University in the 60s. The generation of Vietnam, all of a sudden I was being drafted, and I was very fortunate. I was going to go to Cranbrook, I was accepted, but I had to wait a few months, and so I decided I better stay at Wayne State to do my graduate work because they gave me an occupational deferment. So that really kind of saved me pretty much from going and becoming a soldier. It's not something I wanted to do. My father suffered enough in the Second World War, and he said, I put in enough war for both of us. Even though I work in a figurative tradition like Jay, we had different attitudes. He's kind of a strict academic teacher in a sense, the strict sense of order, the kind of neoclassical. And all of a sudden, I remember there were students in class who wanted to make clay houses, and I said, "Oh, go ahead." I said, "Jay would never let you make a little clay house." But I came from a different environment where all of a sudden, not everybody can become a great figurative artist. I mean, that's the feeling I have. So I think having some training, but at the same time, there are other forces that work upon the figure. And I also met other figurative people that reinforce certain mechanisms. Even though in my generation, everybody was doing striping. It was difficult to do figurative work at that time because it was kind of passé to a lot of people. I think I remember Jay's helmets. They were very influential. Not that I did helmets, but this particular helmet I have in the show, it's based on an African culture. The shrouding actually becomes Italian, but the bell itself, made a bell out of, instead of a helmet. And it's kind of interesting, it has influences of African casting, bronze casting. So to me, just as much as I think his have historical significance as far as a helmet, what it represents, mine also has maybe a different culture than European. I think for some reason, when I saw these African masks, I looked upon them as kind of a helmet. So it was kind of interesting to me.
Helmets appealed to me as being martial. They appealed to me. I should have put it that way, and it just grew from there. And I had several ideas that later bloomed from it. The helmet that has various emblems on top is supposed to be an invader's helmet. I can't give a precise date, but I can remember once making a rather tall, elongated figure as an experiment, and I said, you don't want to do this. So I started to tear it apart. It looked so pathetic that it warmed the cockles of my heart. Then I took some string and kind of tied the pieces together so as if someone had tried to make an immediate repair. And that kind of started it off. It just grew upon me that if I could make this figure appear to be damaged, that would be interesting. But it might even be more interesting to show a figure within it. So I welded the metal part first, and then modeled the cement part, the inner body, second, which is a little tricky. So, but I think it's more effective because there is a body in there.
People ask me, how do you make a living? Well, I decided to do relief sculpture. I became fascinated the first time, and of course it's part of the Italian tradition. And so the fact that I work in relief, there's a few of us, John Pappas at Eastern does beautiful reliefs. So whenever I compete for a commission at wall reliefs, I mean, those are probably the only competitions I really look at because that's what I do. And I've been very fortunate, and I've been fortunate that I've actually done quite a bit of public works that are in relief.